Hello, thank you so much for joining me today on Emma's Crafty Space. My name is Emma and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator based in Newton Abbey, Belfast, Northern Ireland. So today I'm going to show you how to make these hexagonal twist cards. I've seen a number of demonstrators have done all different ones. So I just thought I would have a go at one too. So when you kind of twist them open, and then you have all these little pouches to put in there. And then I'll show you the inside of this one as well. So you can do whatever greetings you want on them. You've got that one. There's that middle pocket as well, and then there's another wee one in there. Ideal if you wanted to give someone a gift card, or I just like to write little messages in them as well. I will give you all your card sizes first. So the first piece of card measures 8 1/4 by 8 1/8, and then you are going to score it. I'll grab my scoreboard so I can show you how you're going to score this. So on your 8 1/8 side, you're going to score it at 1/2 inch, 2 7/8, 5 1/4, and 7 5/8. Okay, and you're going to turn it, and you're on your 8 1/4 side, you're going to score it at 4 1/8. Now to get these diagonal scores, I just got a black Sharpie and went down my 6 inch, and it just knows because it's in the middle of the board. So I have got this line, okay, and measured up here. So you're scoring into 2 of the rectangle sections, and you literally just, it means then you've got that line so you know what you're matching up, and you literally just score directly down, and you just move it over and you score from your second rectangle down to the last rectangle on this side. And again, I'll move it more into the camera shot so you can see it. So you can see that that line and that line are matched up, and then again just score down. Okay, now I do have a template that I can put on the screen so you can see it. So you really need to give that a good score and crease it all up really well. The next pieces that you need DSP. So one is going to measure 2 1/4 by 4. Okay, and then you need 2 pieces that measure 2 1/4 by 3 7/8. Okay, then these are your little cards for inside, and you need 3 of these. And in the cardstock that matches your card, you know, the base, you need these need to measure 2 1/4 by 4, and again you need 3 of those. And then in your basic white, you can do thick or normal, it's up to you. These are just normal. You need 3 of these again, and they will measure 2 by 3 3/4. Okay, and you'll just see that they're just gonna have that nice little border all the way around them. Okay, so set them aside. Then you will have a belly band. So your card is going to measure 9 3/8 by 2 3/8. And then your DSP, I've just done it the same length at 9 3/8 by, the only difference is it's 2 1/4. So it means that you've just got like a little trim there. Okay. And then I have circles to decorate the belly band with. So this is the stitch shape circles, and that one is 2 and nearly 2 1/2. And then your layering circle one is just, it's 2 1/2 as well. So that one just must be slightly under. So you can see. Okay, that's an approximate. So as I say, you really need to give this a good creasing up. Okay, and you need to crease all your lines. You can go both ways if you want. It doesn't really matter, because it really needs to be very pliable so that it will crease into the hexagonal shapes that you need it to go into. And crease your diagonal lines as well. Okay, now this is my template. So this is what we need to achieve here. So you can see in this one, this is a full rectangle, it doesn't have a score line, and this is a full rectangle, it doesn't have a score line. So they're the ones where you're cutting that lip off. So going to wedge here, and I'm going to wedge here, and I'm going to cut down this side. Okay, take that away, and then this one up here needs done as well. If you had bigger scissors, they would probably be better for this, but I'll just go with these. Or if you're quite good with your trimmer, you could use your trimmer so you get nice crisp lines there, but your snips are just perfect. Okay, so you can see there, that is what we're going for. So you've got a full rectangle here and a full rectangle here, and then we've wedged these. Okay, so I'll just leave that on the screen there a wee second if you want to pause it or take a screenshot. Okay, so next thing we have to do, so you've got your one piece of DSP, keep that, that's the one that's slightly larger, so it's 2 1/4 by 4, and then you've got your 2 pieces here that are the same size, so they are 2 1/4 by 3 7/8. Okay, so I'm going to cut these two together. What I will say, there is a knack of cutting these. So this is our next piece on the template. So this is what we are trying to achieve. This is our position of where we're going to put our DSP. To get that shape of triangle, you have to cut them. And if you want the DSP facing up, as in you want it all these bits, all DSP, then you have to cut it right to left. If you want it to be the complementary side, then you're going to cut that left to right, and it means then they'll be sticking on like that. So it means your belly band will have this design, but all these other ones will be this. So it's up to you what way you want to do it. I'll just grab my trimmer. I want mine all DSP, so I'm going to go right to left. Now obviously if your DSP is directional as well, you're going to have to be careful with that. Okay, so to get that, I am putting that corner in the valley and that corner in the valley, but I don't want to run my blade straight into that corner because it'll damage the corner. So I'm going to actually set the blade down in the middle and go from the middle up and then back down. And you'll see those, it'll give you that nice sharp triangle edge and it doesn't get damaged. Okay, so following the template here. So that's just going to get stuck straight down onto there. You don't need loads of glue. Okay, just set that down there, and you should have just like the slightest wee border all the way around there. Okay, so I'm just going to straighten this line up. I cut the actual score. You know how whenever you're doing your scoring, you get that indent? I'm cutting it completely off this, and it just gives me a nice crisp edge there. Okay. So next thing you have to do is we're going to crease this up and stick it all together. Okay, so I'm just going to give that another wee burnish there. It's not completely in. So you want to fold these two tabs in like that. Put glue or tape down them and then close it up like that. Okay, so it's very simple. You're just making one giant pouch. Just make sure it all meets up nicely. Okay, see that all matches perfect. Okay, just give it a good press down. And just run your burnisher over it, or your bone folder, sorry, and give that a good press to make sure all the glue is adhered. Now, this bit can be a wee bit tricky because obviously the card's still quite new, but you want it all to kind of, if you can imagine, you are going to push against this, so you can see that has give you that shape already. Okay, And then you want that to go in as well. You can see there. Now it will take, if the first time doing it, it will take a bit of playing about with it. Alternatively, from the back, you want to kind of support that in there and push it like that. And you'll see once you do it a couple of times, it'll automatically just fold into it and pop into it. So it's like a wee pop card. Okay, so I'm just going to let that sit. Next thing you're going to do is your belly band. So I'm going to glue up my DSP. I think my glue's coming to the end. I love the spreader end on the tombow. It just gives you such a lovely wee thin layer, especially when you're working with DSP, when it can just get a wee bit too wet. Whereas with the spreader end, you can't really go wrong with it. It's definitely better for doing larger pieces. Okay, so belly band then. So your belly band is going to go across the front of this. So you are just mirroring this, okay? And you're just wrapping it. That's why I haven't scored it, because I wanted a nice gentle wrap rather than something that's really sharp. And it means then you can easily slide it on and off, okay? So whenever we're sticking it, we just have to be careful that it is all lined up. So when I'm doing something that's meeting in the middle, I put when I'm doing something that I need to meet in the middle and it's got an overlap, this is how I glue it. So I put one piece of glue there and glue there, and I know it's going to overlap by more than that. So as I say, make sure this is all nice and straight and lined up, and just hold it, because obviously there's going to be a bit of resistance there because it's wrapping around something. So you're just going to hold that there. Okay, and just let it sit again. Next thing is these little cards. Okay, so these are for our little greetings in the inside. So I'll just remind you of those measurements. So the larger pieces are 2 1/4 by 4, and your smaller white pieces in basic white are 2 by 3 3/4. Obviously, you can, if you're not a seasoned stamper, I would advise that you stamp your greetings on these first, and then it means if you make a mistake, you can turn it over and have another go and then stick it down. But if you feel pretty confident, then you can stick them in, stamp them. It's up to you. You could also do little tags, you know, a little tag topper on it, or a little bit of ribbon, but you just don't want it being too long because you don't want it sticking out of the card, or maybe you do. That's a handy way, especially if you're trying to reach out to someone who maybe hasn't been too well, and you just want to give them little encouragements. You know, you can stamp little greetings on them, little words of encouragement for them. Or if you just want to give someone a card with a difference, it's definitely that. Obviously, I just can't stand up, but okay. So when you open your card, you're just going to slide your belly band off. Like that, so it opens like that. So this here can be a wee bit tricky. So you're going to slide one card in here, and then we're going to go to the other side because they're the two easy ones. You're going to slide it in there like that. Okay, now they're the very obvious pockets. Then you actually have a pocket down here in the middle where that crosses over. So you're just going to slide that in like that. Just not as obvious a pocket. So whenever you're arranging your little cards that you're sliding in, I would have them all like having two facing one way and one facing the other. If you wanted to, you could put another piece of white on that side, so that doesn't matter what side you're seeing, like a nice stacked image. or greeting there. Okay, so just putting this back in. Got maybe done my belly band too neat. Just slides down. Okay, so 2 circles. Obviously you're going to stamp your greeting on that. And then this one I raise on dimensionals, and then that covers the join on the belly band. Like that. So this greeting is from Inspired Thoughts, and I'm going to stamp it in Night of Navy just to match my base card. So I also have a few little pieces here. I've got a bit of Just Jade ribbon, a sprig which is punched in Just Jade, and a couple of little gems. So I'm going to fold my ribbon in half, make a little ribbon loop. Like that. And then I'll stick it to the back of my circle. I'm just going to stick the sprig on as well. You can add anything to these. It doesn't have to be, especially whenever you have a DSP that's just kind of, like, I know that's florally and leafy and stuff, but it really doesn't, you don't have to overthink it, just stick it down. And a few dimensionals here. I use all my dimensional, all of them. You have to be savvy when you're crafting, not wasteful. Nothing very much goes to waste. There's always something you can do with it. Okay, just stick that down. You can just see that little scallop ever so slightly. And then to place my little, now I've done the little diamond ones just because it's hexagonal, so it's a bit, I always like things in 3s. Okay, so that is it finished. So you can see I have this one here done in different colours as well, but it's the same DSP. This DSP is currently retired, but any DSP, but what I will say is just be careful if your DSP is directional. You don't want it being all higgledy-piggledy, or you don't want it to be something that's going to be very stressful. So if you're picking a DSP, I would definitely try and get one that doesn't matter. Like this is the Sweet Symmetry, I think it's called. So it didn't really matter what direction that I did it in. So it doesn't, you don't want it to be too stressful. I'll put a wee list of everything that I've used. Obviously there's no point in me listing the DSP because it is retired, and hopefully you'll be able to have a go and easily and it'll not be too stressful. If you need anything, just reach out. As I say, I'll put a list of everything I used, and also there's a link to my online store there. If you need any supplies, you can order it through there. Okay, thank you so much. Take care. Bye bye.